Here with Concordia head men's basketball coach Ben Limback to preview the 2019-20 season. And as we record this, I know you're actually quite a bit deep into preseason practice and preparation. But I know this off-season has been a different one than a year ago, and you have so many familiar faces back. But how helpful has it been to have all those guys back, just in terms of getting things accomplished during practice?
No, it's been great. I feel like we're already 2 weeks in, and just the ability to have returning guys that know kind of the structure of practice and the familiarity of what's going on, and we had a large group that stuck around this summer too. That I was really proud of their effort and their dedication. This summer, so that's been a huge difference too, and we see it right now. We have great depth in practice, very competitive balance, and that's what we like to see, especially the first few weeks.
There were some tough moments on the court, some ups and downs last season, and some growing pains, but you did manage to go 6-4, the final 10 of the GPAC regular season. What growth did you see during that run that maybe you'd like to build upon and carry over into this season?
Yeah, we had a lot of young guys play, in that stretch run, and certainly Sammy being able to play in the second half. He provided an offensive spark, and I just think familiarity of the league and the GPAC. Pretty much every sport here, in the GPAC is tough, and I think we just I felt like it settled in, started to become clear what our identity was, and I think going into this season, already knowing what to expect, a lot of those guys didn't know what the GPAC was about or the level of play required, and I think there's a lot more confidence, there's a lot more just leadership too within the team that I think will piggyback from the ending last year.
And there not a single senior on that roster last year, and now you have several of them. Some of them were transfers, but you also have guys like Tanner Shuck and Brevin Slope that have been in the program for a long time now. How important has their commitment to the program been to you?
Yeah, it's been huge. I think what they've done, not only for last year's team, but for the program in general. I feel like they've put a lot of time into it, and I'm very excited for the season, largely in part because of the senior class, and obviously those two guys have played a big part in not only on-court performance throughout the years, but also just the heart of the team at times. So I'm excited for them. I hope obviously health and everything is a huge part of it, but I think they're both jacked for the year, and I think it's going to be fun.
Now Carter Kent, who was the GPAC freshman of the year last year, now he knows what college basketball is like, but what progress have you seen from him since his freshman season ended? Yeah, well, this is the first summer that he's had where he didn't do baseball. I think even coming into his freshman year, he kind of finished up with some Legion baseball, and any of these multi-sport athletes that come in and play small college sports, I feel like when they can focus on one finally, they're ones that really we see a lot of growth out of, and Carter's no different. You can see his athleticism, his strength levels, everything. The work he put in this summer has been huge for us, and I think again he's a guy that has tremendous ability, and he's a perfectionist, and he works on his game, and I think he also is in for a great season. And the front court was made up of a lot of guys who were in their first year in the program last season. Some of them were transfers like Sammy and Joel Beal. What progress have you seen from that group? Yeah, I think Sammy, he stuck around here this summer, and I think that was huge for him. I think just continuing to get his body in the condition, and also just work on his game around here. Was a big summer for him. Joel, he's added some weight. He's put 10, 15 pounds back on, and I think he's looking really good right now from his physical play.
He's always got the ability defensively, but I think offensively he's looking sharper. So both those guys, last year was again their first time through the GPAC, and I think now they kind of know what to expect, and they know kind of the big horses in the league, and kind of know what to play for now.
I think you touched on it a little bit with just practices are maybe a little bit smoother when you have guys that know what the expectations are and your style, but how has that played out specifically over the first couple weeks or so of practice?
Yeah, no, I feel like guys, the buy-in's excellent. I think guys are in it for the team, and we preach team over me, and I think they're really believing that right now. And so we got good roster depth. There's guys that maybe saw a few minutes last year that now are really pushing to have a larger role, on the team, and I think that's going to really push the level of play up for the guys that maybe were the returning starters. So I think that's been great. I think our goal is to play, faster than we did last year, and so our pace of play will be different. I feel like, but I think just overall the buy-in and it's been really good this first couple of weeks.
Anything else that there's been a particular emphasis on that you felt like you needed to get better at as compared to last year?
Well, we defensively we got to get better at protecting the paint. I think that was a big weakness of ours. Allowing the ball to get inside either off the dribble or a poor closeout or whatever it is. So this year's emphasis defensively is really helping protect that paint better, transition defense. Again, offensively, we're trying to push a little more perhaps than last year, but I think it's everybody wants to run, everybody wants to play at a fast pace. I don't think you can ask any high school kid or college guy, like, hey, you want to play slow or fast? I think they'll all answer, we want to play fast. So our goal is to not only play fast, but we have to understand the value of the basketball and at times just slow down and execute instead of just playing with chaos sometimes.
Has anything changed a lot within the conference that you've noticed since you've been back here? I mean, is anything big that you've noticed?
Yeah, I think the depth of the league will be the best it's ever been since I've been here. I think you have teams at the traditionally at the bottom that'll be much improved, and I think that only makes our league stronger. And so I think overall the depth of the league is going to be better this year. We have teams that went out to the national tournament last year and they all did very well. Maybe didn't win the whole thing, but I think winning games at that level, and I think that just shows the strength of our league too in men's basketball. But I think really maybe the size, the speed of it. Everybody's always played high possession games, or for the most part in the GPAC. But I think this year, there's some really good big guys, but I think a lot of them will play up tempo still.
Well, we know things outside of the conference like CIT are always a highlight of the schedule. This year you'll be singing Mali Kaliki Maka right before Christmas.
I gotta learn that, I guess, before we get out there.
What excites you about having that opportunity for your guys?
Yeah, I think CIT is always special. I think it's a unique break in the conference season that just provides that one weekend where you come together in a common Concordia bond, and it's just a great environment for the guys and an experience that most of them will never forget. So that's always a big weekend. This year it's in Chicago, so it'll be a nice trip too. But yeah, Hawaii. Something I was fortunate to go as a player when I was here at Concordia, and took a team before this, but I think just the experience. It's a warm climate, so it's like here it might be 30 and there it might be 85, 90. So it's like getting away in a Christmas season perhaps, but seeing some good basketball teams out there as well, and challenging ourselves out there, and seeing a place that many of them have not seen before, which is always a fun time.
Okay, these are a little less serious questions. I don't know how many of Randy's we can get to, but have you ever driven his truck before? before.
I actually have driven this truck. You know, I don't know what kind of gas mileage it gets now because it doesn't really, you know, sound the best. But he allows me to take the keys, which is a big deal to me that I appreciate. But it is a high performance vehicle that has a lot of years left, so I appreciate him letting me use it.
It's a beautiful machine.
It sure is.
Most outrageous comment from Randy? I'm sure there've been several.
There's been a lot. I'm trying to think. You know, every dad joke. You know, I feel like you gotta be ready for it because they're funny in their own unique way. But I think I always appreciate his ability to have fun with our guys, and I think they do too. I think he's more than, you know, he's an athletic trainer. And I always tell him he's both athletic and he's a trainer. But I think what he really brings is the off the court stuff that he's fun to be around. But I can't remember a specific comment.
There's too many. Yeah. Shifting to a little bit of a Halloween theme, quick with that coming up. What's your take on candy corn?
Candy corn, you know, I really like candy corn, not by itself, but I'm a big fan if you put the salted peanuts with the candy corn. I don't know, I just, it's a great snack that we have at our house a lot. But have you ever tried that?
I have.
Yeah, that's a great combination. I think, you know, candy corn alone, though, I'm not a huge fan.
It seems to be a divisive candy. That's
yeah.
why.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
People have strong opinions on it. Do you have a favorite Halloween movie?
Favorite Halloween movie? I like the traditional Halloweens. You know, I don't know what number they're on, if they're still out. I haven't seen it or any of those, you know, the contemporary made movies of this generation, but I'm a big fan of Halloween.
What's the last costume you remember wearing to trick or treat as a kid?
As a kid, so I was in college here, and I had this. It was a Fuji mask. It was an Asian mask that I would walk around campus, and there was a time. Probably shouldn't tell our guys this, but we got our hands on the bulldog costume here at Concordia, and you know, Devin might remember some of this too, but somebody got their hands in Halloween. They ended up sneaking into somebody's bed while they were brushing their teeth or getting ready for bed, and they ended up pulling the sheets down, and there was the bulldog laying in their bed. I can't remember what movie that was. That was it Godfathers, where they had the dead horse head. But anyway, but anyway, that's what I remember from Halloween is the Fuji mask and the bulldog costume.
Well, I was going to ask what the best prank you've ever played or had played on you, but
the best prank that I ever played on me. You know, actually, Devin had a good one. We went to Hawaii, ironically, and I was a freshman, and he would always do this. You know, he'd tell me, "I'm going to get you a bull by the horns" type thing, and we got off the plane, and we're waiting for our luggage, and you know, it's that panicking feeling where you don't see your luggage, and it's just like the carousel's going around and around, and I'm stressed. I'm a freshman. I'd never flown before, and sure enough, Devin was just giggling off in the corner, him and Micah Parker, the other assistant, and they had pulled my luggage off already, and just watching me sweat and go into Coach Smith's. That was one of the best pranks on a trip that I think he had pulled. But